Hey, we're Matt and Jonny from Brothers Make, and today we're going to take you around the awesome TS1800 table saw.
Let's get cracking.
The Lumberjack TS1800 is a cast iron top table saw with a 10-inch or 254mm blade capacity.
We've had this table saw in our workshop for just over a month now, and one of our favourite features about it is the mobile base.
It comes with 4 swivel caster wheels which can be engaged with a press of this foot pedal. In a small workshop like ours, we can't afford the space for a traditional style static cabinet saw, so having the option to move this around is an absolute game changer.
But there's a lot more to this saw than just fancy wheels, so let's take a look at some of the other features. The saw came delivered to us on a pallet in a very heavy box, which will need 2 people to move.
The assembly process was pretty straightforward. It took us a couple of hours to get everything unboxed and built, and then it was time to dial everything in.
The manual is nice and simple to follow and provides step-by-step instructions on how to fully adjust the saw.
You have options to adjust the table and rail alignment, as well as the rip fence, mitre gauge, riving knife and table insert.
From our experience with various other machines over the last 10 years, the adjustments on the Lumberjack are intuitive and really easy to use. For example, both the blade spindle lock and the riving knife adjustment can be operated toollessly. Fun word. This is such a simple feature and it has been done really well, and realistically it should just be on every table saw.
We were pretty impressed that both the blade alignment and the rip fence were spot on right out the box. If the fence was out of alignment, it can be adjusted using the set screws to perfectly dial it in. The clamping pressure on the fence can even be adjusted by using the nut on the back.
The mitre gauge did need adjusting for square, but this was nice and simple to do by unlocking the handle and changing the angle using a square against the blade. The mitre gauge also features positive stops for certain angles, which can be dialed in by using the locking nut underneath.
You also get a metal insert plate which can be adjusted for height using set screws. This also features a little magnet on the front to hold it in position.
And if that wasn't enough, you also get a transparent blade guard with a built-in laser and anti-kickback pawls that can be attached to the back of the riving knife for extra safe cutting. Lovely!
The TS1800 really is a pleasure to use, and it feels like a far more premium saw than the price tag would suggest. For example, the metal handles you get on the blade height and tilt mechanism feels a lot better than the usual plastic ones you get on a lot of other machines.
One of the things we didn't like about our old machine is that the fence would constantly be out of alignment and it was just such a faff to adjust it. Whereas with this saw, the fence glides across the surface and stays beautifully parallel to the blade. It's also really nice to have an accurate metric scale on the front rails that you can trust without having to use a tape measure for every cut.
On startup, the motor is nice and quiet. The design of the base also helps cut the noise down, as you can tell that nothing is vibrating or echoing inside the cabinet.
We've been using this saw to cut all types of material, from softwoods, hardwoods, ply, MDF, and even some of our recycled plastics.
It's also great to have a blade that tilts away from the fence, as this results in a much safer cut. Our previous saw only tilted towards the fence, which meant that any beveled ripping cut, such as making French cleats, was a really scary cut to make.
On either side of the cast iron surface, you have a pressed steel extension table. And on the right, the rail extends far beyond this for a massive maximum rip capacity of up to 760mm. This makes it totally feasible to rip full sheets down, especially as you can just pop it up on wheels and move it somewhere more convenient. Perfect for smaller workshops.
Another one of our favourite features is the dust extraction. The TS1800 comes with a huge dust chute which directs all of the sawdust vertically downwards into a standard 100mm extraction port. Very little dust ends up on the table surface, and the internal dust can be accessed for cleaning nice and easily. We use a dedicated extractor for our table saw, which we even put on a little dolly and put it right under that right wing. This way, whenever we move the saw, the dust collection comes right along with it. Plus, we can use the same space for an offcut spin. Perfect.
Another nice little addition is all the storage for the other accessories. There are spaces for the fence, mitre gauge, push stick, spare blades and the blade guard. You can even wrap the cord up to stop it dragging around all over the floor.
So that's some of our favourite things about the saw, but let's quickly run through all of the tech specs. The saw has an 1800 watt motor rated at 71 decibels.
It has a no load speed of 4,200 RPM.
The max depth of cut is 80mm when the saw is set to 90 degrees or 55mm at 45 degrees.
The rip capacity to the right of the blade is 760mm and 340mm to the left of the blade.
The dust extraction port is a standard 100mm diameter.
The arbor is 5/8 of an inch diameter and is extra long for taking dado stacks. Lumberjacks sell the standard 5/8 of an inch blades for this saw online, or you can use reducer ring adapters for other saw blades.
So there you go, there's a full rundown on the Lumberjack TS1800 table saw.
We are super happy with it and it will definitely get a whole lot of use in our workshop.
Thanks for watching. If you want to see more from Lumberjack Tools, be sure to subscribe to their YouTube channel.
And if you want to see more of us, head on over to our channel, It's Brothers Make, where you'll definitely be seeing plenty more reviews of this saw in our project videos.
Catch you on the next one, guys.
See you later. Oh, that?
Yep. To me.
One, two.
Up to me.
It's not that heavy, really. Nice and easy.